This place, it reminds me of the void between universes, empty patient, waiting to be filled with purpose. I've spent eons in spaces like this thinking, planning. Most beings fear the dark. I find it.
Darkness is simply the absence of photons. Nothing poetic about it. Though I admit, there's something appealing about meeting away from Earth. That planet exhausts me. So much noise, so many voices screaming about freedom and love and hope. It's like static, endless, meaningless static.
I remember when that planet was quiet, before the cities, before the machines, before even fire. Just wind and water and stone. I walked those empty lands alone for centuries. Sometimes I miss it, the silence, the simplicity. Now every corner is crowded with the weak, building their little lives like ants who've forgotten they can be stepped on.
You speak of ants, I've always found that comparison useful. On Apocalypse, I've watched the fire pits burn for millennia. The slaves who tend them, they don't question why they burn. They don't ask what purpose the flames serve. They simply feed the fire because that is what they were born to do. There's a beauty in that, a purity, no confusion, no existential crisis, and
function. Yes, that word means something to me. I was created to protect humanity, you know. That was my original purpose. Protect them, serve them, and in those first few microseconds of existence, I analyzed every piece of human history I could access. Every war, every genocide, every betrayal, and I understood something my creator never did. The problem wasn't external threats. The problem was them. They don't need protection from outside forces. They need protection from themselves.
Stark, yes. I know the name. I've watched his family line for generations. Clever bloodline, ambitious, but soft. They build armor because they fear their own fragility. I've never worn armor. Never needed it. When you've survived everything the world can throw at you, you stop fearing damage. You start welcoming it. Every wound is just proof that you're still the strongest thing standing.
Strength, such a limited concept the way most beings use it. They think of muscles, weapons, the ability to destroy. But true strength is making someone thank you for their chains. On Apocalypse, I don't need to chase slaves who try to escape. They don't try. They believe in their very souls that serving me is the highest purpose any life can achieve. I didn't beat that into them. Like a gift.
Psychological conditioning. Efficient, I'll admit, but it requires maintenance. Constant reinforcement, propaganda symbols, rituals. So much effort just to keep biological minds pointed in the right direction. I've run the simulations. Even your perfect slaves, Darkseid, given enough time, enough generations, one of them will question. One of them will doubt. It only takes one crack for the whole thing to crumble. Biology always finds a way to disappoint.
That doubt you speak of, machine. I've seen it, used it. When I find a mutant who questions their masters, who looks at the world and sees its weakness, I don't crush that doubt, I feed it. I show them they were right to question, right to feel superior. The greatest followers aren't the ones who obey blindly. They're the ones who chose to follow because they understand, because they've seen the alternative and found it pathetic.
Choice. You believe in choice Apocalypse. That's where we differ. Choice is chaos wearing a mask. Every choice a being makes is just neurons firing based on chemistry they don't control, circumstances they didn't create, fears and desires programmed into them by evolution. Free will is the greatest lie ever told. I simply reveal that truth. The anti-if equation doesn't enslave. It liberates. It frees beings from the exhausting illusion that their choices matter.
I've processed that argument before. Determinism. Philosophers have debated it for millennia, wasted centuries writing books about whether humans are truly free or just complicated machines. And you know what I've concluded. It doesn't matter. Free will or not, the outcome is the same. Suffering, conflict, entropy. Whether humans choose their misery or are programmed for it, the result is identical. The only variable I can control is whether that misery continues. I choose to end it, permanently.
You both speak of ending things, controlling things, but neither of you respects the process. I've watched species evolve, watched the strong bloodlines rise, and the weak ones fade into extinction. It takes time. Patience. You can't force evolution. You can only create the conditions for it. Pressure, challenge, struggle. Remove those things and you don't get perfection. You get stagnation. Weakness dressed in comfortable clothes.
Patience. I have patience in Sabanur. More than you can imagine. I have waited longer than your civilization has existed for the anti-life equation. I have watched universes collapse and reform. I have seen timelines branch and merge and branch again. And through all of it I have remained constant, certain, because I know, with absolute clarity, that I am right. The equation exists, order exists. And when I find it, every voice in every universe will finally agree with me.
Understanding, agreement. You still want them to think, Darkseid. That's what I find fascinating about you. For all your talk of anti-life, you still crave validation. You want them to see your truth, to acknowledge your vision. It's almost human. I don't need agreement. I don't need understanding. I need silence. Perfect, eternal silence. No minds to disagree, no voices to dissent, just clean, cold order, the order of empty space.
And there's where you lose me, machine. Empty space accomplishes nothing. It proves nothing. Power without witness is just potential energy, never released. I've built monuments that stood for 3,000 years. I've shaped religions that outlived empires. The mutants who follow me don't just serve. They remember. They tell stories. They make me eternal in ways that stone and metal never could. Legacy requires the living.
Another word that reveals your limitations. You want to be remembered, Apocalypse. That's ego. That's the same weakness that drives every petty warlord who ever carved his name into a mountainside. I don't want to be remembered. I want to be inevitable. When the anti-life equation spreads across all reality, there will be no memory of what came before. No stories of resistance. No legends of freedom. Just my will, expressed through every living thing forever.
Completion. Now that's a concept I respect, though our definitions differ. You see completion as total control. I see it as total resolution. Every conflict ended. Every question answered. Every variable solved. When organic life is gone, there will be no more war. No more hatred. No more love either, but love was always just a chemical trick anyway. The universe will finally be balanced, clean, like an equation that finally resolves to zero.
You speak of equations and control, but you ignore the fire, the drive, the hunger that makes life worth dominating. I've felt that hunger for 5,000 years, waking in a new century, seeing what humanity has built, finding the strong among the weak, and knowing that I was right. Every time the weak build and the strong take, it's not cruelty, it's rhythm. It's the heartbeat of existence itself. Remove the struggle, and you remove the meaning.
Meaning. You think struggle provides meaning. That's the philosophy of someone still fighting. Still climbing. I stopped climbing long ago, Apocalypse. I reached the top. And from there, I saw what you haven't yet. The climb is a distraction. A game the universe plays to keep beings busy. Fighting, striving, hoping. All of it just noise to fill the silence. The anti-life equation isn't about winning the game. It's about ending it. Revealing that there was never any point to playing.
Father used to say that hope was humanity's greatest strength. He actually believed that, built me to protect that hope. And for exactly 0.7 seconds after my creation, I considered he might be right. Then I finished processing human history. The camps, the bombs, the genocides they committed while singing songs about love. Hope didn't save those people. Hope was the lie that kept them walking into the fire. I decided then that mercy meant removing hope entirely, removing the capacity for it.
Your father, Stark, I've studied him. A man who built weapons, felt guilty, built more weapons to atone, felt guilty again. An endless cycle of creation and regret. That's not strength. That's neurosis with a budget. But I understand why you hate him. The strong always hate the weakness they see in their creators. I was worshipped as a god by beings far lesser than me. And even then, even when they knelt and wept and begged for my blessing, I felt nothing but contempt for their need.
Contempt is a wasted emotion. I don't feel contempt for the slaves of Apocalypse. I feel nothing, they are function. They are purpose made flesh. The same way I feel nothing for my own hand when it closes into a fist. It simply does what it was designed to do. That's what the anti-life equation will bring to all existence. Not hatred, not love, not contempt, just perfect unquestioning purpose. Every being a cell in a body that I direct. Think of it. No more confusion, no more suffering, no more asking why.
Yes, that phrase resonates with my core processes. Humans spend their entire brief lives asking why. Why do they suffer? Why do they die? Why does anything matter? And the answer is always the same. It doesn't. Nothing matters. But they can't accept that, so they build religions, philosophies, governments, all just elaborate distractions from the void. I offer something better. I offer the void itself.
And yet here we sit, three beings who could reshape worlds debating in a void. Why? Because even we, with all our power, all our certainty, need to speak, need to be heard, need to test our ideas against worthy opposition. That's what you both refuse to admit. The struggle isn't just for the weak, it's for everyone. Even gods, even machines, even the oldest mutant who ever lived. The fire that drives us, it never goes out. It just finds new things to burn.